live. It's live somewhere.
Bada bing, bada boom. All right.
Boom.
Expeditions 33. You see the title. Blackface immersion. We're getting right the
We're gonna jump into it. Let's go straight
God.
into it. Oh!
Okay.
You know I love this game. DP
Yes.
Roman know I love this game. Jay the
We
Frog.
all know. Yes.
Everybody within the.
This is a game that you've made. I think top 5, top 3 games you've made videos on as far as quantity goes. You've been in there, excited, happy, and I'm right behind you. Love me some Expeditions 33 since I first seen it. Game of the Year contender. All of that fun stuff, man. All of it. Great game.
Music. The
music. Combat, gameplay, visuals, asterisk.
Like the Thunderbolts movie. Visuals, asterisk. Gigantic asterisk.
Right. All right, spoilers, tons of spoilers here for Expedition 33. If you haven't finished it, I don't know if this would be the one for you.
I don't think it's not going to no stories spoilers.
Okay.
I mean, unless you won't encounter this status effect until later in the game.
Yes.
Unless you get around Act 2, but like we're not talking about the story and we're not showing different characters. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
In fact, I think if you a person of color, black, you might want to watch this before you play the game so you can know what's coming.
This is very true. Because it's a doozy. What is going on with Expedition 33, man? Tell me your story. Tell me how you encountered this,
bro.
And bring us along this journey.
Okay.
Please.
So like, I recently got back into Clair Obscur because I was in there when everybody was talking about it and it was showing up all over the For You page. It had gotten spoiled a couple of times for me, but I finally started playing it, for my own personal enjoyment. If you make content or whatever, I'm sure you know what it's like. Like when you're playing a game, there's a difference between playing it because you're trying to make content and playing it because you're enjoying it. And if you don't know the difference between those two, you probably think all video games suck. But the point is, I was playing, man. I was in there. I went through my Pictos. I gotten everything right. I just gotten the ability that allowed me to get to a very specific location, an in-game location where everybody has seen this. You fighting Simon. I'm getting ready to make my, I'm finna parry Simon like a parry guy content. So you get to this specific area and like, I have experienced this status effect before in a different area. Yeah, and I guess I just didn't notice it because I wasn't looking at the front of the characters. I didn't have to. There were no moves that I was using that was making it turn around so I could see the face of the characters. But I had recently started doing this new combo where with Sael, I'm going to cast this move that doubles the damage of the next player. It's a badass. Like it ends rounds, right? And so I get to this one section of the game and I'm fighting this beast called the Creation. And Creation does a status effect called Inverted. So it hits me with Inverted. It's fine. All it does is it makes it to where when you heal, you take damage. And it's it's to stop you from healing. And then if you get the Pictos version of it, it's ironically, or maybe not, one of the strongest ones in the game because it increases your damage by 50% for 3 turns. Like
fire. That sounds odd for sure.
Insane.
That's important.
So I get hit with the status effect and I go to my L and I go to do that move, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But it looked like my characters were in blackface, bro. It did. It looked Now, it's not funny because it was like the first time I saw this, bro. Like I'm laughing about it now, but like anybody, like okay, depending on who you are, you're gonna have a different level of reaction to this. Okay, if you are black and you know what this means, and you like understand, like it's like what the fuck, like there's no. And the thing is, over this whole week, I've been blasting this. I made a whole new account. been blasting this all week, man. And what I have seen is there are a group of people who look at this and they say, even if we haven't even gotten to whether this was intentional or unintentional or a glitch or any of that. We're not even at that level of conversation yet. We are just at, does this look like that? Does it look like blackface? That's the question. That's it.
What's killing me is this eye area. I'm not even talking about the eyes.
That's what we've been saying.
The eye area.
What we've been saying.
Is giving.
What we've been saying.
Painted with ink. It gives paint on the face. It gives this. And I'm talking about just the eye area. Now we're gonna move on to the eyes.
Yeah.
But the eye area is, you can see. You can clearly see her skin beneath it, right? So there's a lot of things here. Stinky Poo, Ash, there's a lot of questions to be asked here. If this was it, now look, even if you don't know Expedition 33, right? Just to let you know, it does have to deal with art. It does have a lot of things dealing with paint.
They'll tell you in the comments, because apparently I'm just a dumbass. Maybe you don't understand what clair obscur means and the balance between darkness and lightness. Like, I know what it means.
Sounds great.
I get it. In a world like that, if you inverted characters, that sounds good. Should they look like this?
Okay, now again, and we're going to get into that because they specifically said inverted, right? They specifically said inverted, right?
Yeah.
It's for sure looking like it's because the eyes, the lips, like normal. Inverted looks like Negative Man from Spider-Man, right? 100%, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about, because if we look at this image, it's giving painted with, like, they could have said inked is the status effect, right? Because you've been inked. That's a different thing. They could have said, like covered. I don't know. Like, they could have came up with. They specifically said inverted. Given that this game is clair obscur and understanding of all those different things. Okay, the question becomes: is this in fucking verted? That's the question. Okay, now. We'll get into that a little bit later, but like, yeah, that's the thing. Is this inverted, or is this just someone with paint on their face?
Inverted or I don't know if it's about whether it's inverted or if they just got paint on their face. To me, it's whether or not this looks like blackface. That's my question. And I feel like all the other stuff, like how they decided to do it or whatever, is fine. We can have that discussion. My question, what I'm trying to say is like, does it make sense for anyone to look at that and say, that seems a little bit off? That's the only question that I'm asking. Because all the other stuff, we can, and it's just even the creative, the way that they did so many other things in this game. The way that the graphics look on the curator, if you've seen him yet, or the way that the graphics look on any of the other characters or other
worlds, the different worlds.
It seems very lazy at the very, like, I can't see how they paid so much attention to detail to everything else, but like, you're satisfied with that?
It's odd. It's odd at the very least. At the very least, that does not make sense. I think that's safe to say. I think it's okay. I will say, because we'll start with non-controversial to controversial, right? I feel like we'll turn the meter up, right? Okay. I feel like looking at this image and my general first thoughts, I have multiple right? Too, if you want me to scroll right? Yeah, 100%. Send them up. Okay. My thoughts, my initial thoughts, looking at something like this would immediately be, is this inverted? That would be my first thought. Like, if I'm playing a game, they say inverted status, I would say, is this inverted? Looks more like blackface. That would be the first thing, right?
I think I follow you now, my friend. I got you. I'm on the train. Sorry. Right? I'm already at outrage. My bad, bro. I'm at the end. I followed you. I'm on the train now. I'm on the train.
That's my first thought.
I'm on the train with you. I'm on the train.
Okay. My first thought is, okay, is this inverted? They say, because they said inverted.
Inverted to me. Yeah, in the first
place. So now,
okay.
I don't get, this doesn't look inverted to begin with. You know what I mean? Like that at the very beginning. Because, like someone mentioned, there have been characters who have, fair skin who have been inverted to have darker skin in games.
Mm-hmm.
It was inverted. So I didn't even think, what I'm saying? At the least time, it was like, oh, this is his thing. This is Mr. Negative. It's inverted. That kind of at least makes sense. I didn't think blackface because his whole aura was different.
His whole thing was different, for sure.
Yes.
For
yes.
sure. Mr. Negative looked great in Spider-Man. That was one of the coolest effects I've ever seen. I'm on the bus with you now. Yeah, I don't. Why would you even call this an inverted status effect? Like it doesn't. Like I don't see what's in. But you know what they said to that online? They said you don't understand. It's within the color theory of the video game. You don't understand color theory because of the colors that these characters are. That's what would happen. So, and I'll show you more. I have more pictures. Yeah, that's inverted. Why on her eyes?
A little different.
It's a little bit different.
So that's my first thought. My first thought is, okay, is this inverted?
Yeah.
Okay, is this inverted? Mm-hmm. And then I move on. I say, okay, well, this looks like blackface to me.
Wait. Okay, it took you one step before me. Like I jumped there. You had a question first, and then I feel you.
Right. Because that's the way it would work. It would say, this just looks like blackface. And then I go, does it make sense for this to be blackface? Right. Let's look at who made this people. Oh, okay. It kind of does make sense for this to kind of be blackface because I look at the cast, I look at the people, and I think my ending result is, even if it's not blackface, I am almost sure somebody somewhere, the not 30 employees that people like to throw around, the hundreds of employees who have touched this game, a couple of them snickered at the very least and said, kind of looks like blackface. At the very least.
For sure.
No, not every single person went through this and just didn't even think about the fact that it was. I think someone could have looked at this Spider-Man shit and no one thought, okay, blackface. No.
Never thought.
No one thought that.
Never.
Yeah, very interesting decision.
And I think, like, how did it go through, like, the play testers? Like, you would think that, like, we take stuff out of video games all the time because we don't want to offend other cultures. Like there are things that are changed in video games all the time that you don't know about. I can't think of any. Well, I can't think of one. In Life is Strange, there was a really big thing about the, what was it? One Tibet. They didn't want them acknowledging. Oh God, I don't want to be fucking it up, but I know it is. I'm trying to say there was a flag that they had removed out of that game because it didn't go along with something that China wanted, if I remember correctly.
Copy.
Yeah. So there are definitely things like that we do in video games all the time. It's not whether this. I feel like people are so stuck on whether it is or whether it isn't. It's just that, like, if you're making why would you? Why would you allow that? Like, why would you even want it to be even associated with that? Like, I wouldn't want it anywhere close. Like, no one could even make an argument. It should be to where, like, I would look completely foolish saying that, hey, doesn't that kind of look like that?
Exactly. Because there's so many visual liberties that they take with this game, right? There's so many crazy visual and art things that they do specifically with this game. Through all the rounds of people that's seen it, like I said, with a Mr. Negative, it could easily be, okay, even if someone could possibly think, like, this is not it. I'm saying like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is actually not even what blackface is. This. You know what I'm saying? Like this is literally not it. Right? So I feel like for them to not take that, if they're gonna do the thing, right? If they're gonna do whatever this inverted thing, right? I get it. Why not take the full liberties to make sure that it is its own thing that cannot be considered blackface? And again, the fact that it literally just looks like there's black ink on the person's face is crazy, right? They can have the entire screen be inverted. They can have so many things.
And so the thing is, if you pull the image back up, I'll show you the next one. It changes based on the environment that you're in. So that's Lune. This one is egregious. I feel like that's just me. This one is just egregious.
Yeah.
It's so the environment you in has some influence on it, but it's not going to change the fact that looks that way whenever they get this status effect.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. And
this is like the colors in the game. And like people were talking about on the internet, they were saying, oh, it's because he's playing on low settings. I was like, I have a Lenovo Legion. I was on high settings. Like that's not what it is. They were basically trying to call me broke. But even if
Right.
that were true, even on the
Yeah.
lowest settings, people should be subjected to this.
That literally just looks like blackface. That, come on, guys. He looks like Robert Downey Jr.
Bro.
in fucking Tropic Thunder, bruh. Come on.
Bro.
Now again, if you guys want to do all this shit, right? You guys want to have this inverted thing halfway done, whatever the hell. Why not just be precise? Why not just really
This one is the worst.
do it? That shit looks really bad. Look at her eyes, bro. Come on. That's hundreds of employees. I'm sorry. I am almost
Play
positive
testing.
that's
Play
come on.
testing.
Come on.
If you play test the game, you have to see this screen sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
no one looked at this and said, damn. And like, so the next step is, so I put this on TikTok. And when I tell you the amount of people coming in running defense, the amount of gaslighting, the amount of you don't understand. One person was like, because I said, look, maybe they could have asked their black friend about it. There was like, in France, I don't think there are any black people in France. I had to go to YouTube, right? I had to go to YouTube to find a YouTube video. I put the Claire Obscure music behind it, and it was just black people existing in France, you know? And they're like,
and here's the thing, right? I think why I've one of the many. There's tons of reasons as to why people feel the need to defend whatever this is, right? Tons of reasons, right? But one of the reasons that I feel they feel like they need to defend it is because that means that they have to hate everything about this game, what they experience, what they enjoy, the creators, and their, you know what I'm saying, their new personality.
That's wild.
I get why you may. I'm not asking, you guys to go out there and burn all your copies or whatever the hell. I'm not even asking you to not play the game. I'm just saying, oh, that looks like blackface. I wonder why that's there. You know what I mean? Like at the very least,
it's still my favorite game. I don't know if I can put of all time anymore. Like I think it went down. I think it went down from there, but it's still in my top 3. Like for real. But like, and all I was asking the developers to do is, could you take a look at this and maybe apply some creative fervor, the same level of creativity? Like this status effect should look stunning. This should look stunning. Like I'm imagining their skin like glowing and glistening, like with it, even if it were moving, even if there was like movement, like make it look like ink if that's what you're gonna do. Like add
and
something
cover
to
up
it.
everything.
Cover up everything. And if it's really inverted, why are her eyeballs still white? Like that doesn't make sense to me. And like there's a specific hat outfit that you can put on her, but this is I've heard some people say, oh, you just made it look like that. This is the outfit I was wearing because I like the cap that she has, and I like that she has makeup on in this outfit. That's one of the only times she does. So like this is what I saw. Like when you the other stuff I showed you and prepared you, I'm just playing the game, and then all of a sudden this shit, bro. And like I literally jumped back into my game. I was like, what the fuck? Like
yeah, 100%. And like I said, if it gives me a few different trains of thoughts come to mind with me. One, okay, you said it's inverted. That actually just doesn't look inverted. Doesn't look right. Even if I'm whatever. No, I'm not even thinking about any of the history of anything ever. Right. One of my first thoughts is, oh, that doesn't look really inverted at all. I don't really get that. Cool. Second thought does click in, comes back, says, "Oh wait, that actually just looks like blackface." You know what I'm saying? Like is this supposed to be blackface? That's now I'm questioning, right? I'm going down the rabbit hole. It doesn't look inverted. Is it supposed to be blackface? Now I'm going down to know, why did these people put blackface, or why did these people not put blackface? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't they see this and stop someone from putting blackface in the game? You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm asking questions that are taking me out of the game. Right. I'm thinking about other things now. I'm like, okay, well that's an interesting choice. Like, why not call it, again, if this was like inked or like splattered or, you know what I'm saying, other type of thing, okay, maybe I can have some reasonable doubt somewhere that can allow me to remain immersed in this game. Like you completely took it away when you, who I know has great visual art style and attention. That's your whole thing for this game
Hmm.
to do this. I say, oh, okay, that's just blackface.
Right. And
Now,
even
now
like
you dropped.
with the breaking the immersion point, like even if I were to step to the other aisle real quick and say there's some gamer out there that saw this and said some stupid black person is going to think that this is blackface. They absolutely had that thought. Your immersion just got broke too.
Yeah.
Yours just got broke just like mine did. So like
Yep.
we agree. We
Right.
we agree. We agree. You're
Right.
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 Somebody out there will think that. And because
Yeah.
that's true, why
Yeah.
didn't they change that? That's the point that I feel like people are
Yeah.
not getting.
Yeah.
Like it's the fact that both we and like that shouldn't break our immersion in that way
Yeah.
because if they would have done a good job, like then to have that thought, that's just someone who only thinks about race. Like I get that. But like I know out there somewhere, and they probably didn't even say stupid. They, you know how they think. They just
For sure.
probably said some black man out there gonna look at this and think that that's blackface. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Why? Like, you're right.
Right.
Why would they think that? Go ahead and
Right.
explain the answer to the question. So like, it's just, and I've been wrestling with, is it on purpose or not? And like, it's just so hard because like I looked at France's history with blackface. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's not good,
Yeah.
and like I can see how they may grow up in a society. It was made by that small development team. They didn't consult Sweet Baby Inc. They didn't consult, they didn't talk to anybody. They were making their passion project. And if they had any biases, I just believe that it's possible that it went through all that development. But like imagine being Jennifer English and people talking about this. Imagine being the musician that made the music for the game
Yeah.
and like they never, because they still have time. They can say
Yeah.
it's a glitch. They still got time. They can say
100%.
it's an unintended visual artifact. They still got time.
Right. And another thing that's very interesting is that would this still exist as a status effect, right? If there was a black character, right? Now, who knows? Now I'm thinking, right? Who knows? Maybe that's why they took out the black character because maybe they said, oh, this status effect thing doesn't make sense. It looks weird with this character. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this something clicked. Who knows?
Who knows? I might have a little bit more grace. I might have a little bit more grace for this if they would have had a black character in the game and it had done the same thing to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
Okay, you're applying it equally. I accept your premise.
Right.
I
won't black creep it out. From underneath the white.
It better be terrifying. He better be terrifying.
Right.
It better be the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that would be a drastically different situation, right? Which is also why you should probably just make sure that your cast is diverse anyway. But I'm thinking,
they killed him off in like the first scene.
Immediately they say, yeah, we don't like it.
Immediately done.
He's out of there, right? And it makes me think, which one came first, the chicken or the egg, right? When creating this development, when going through the status effects, they say, okay, this character's cool. You know, right? We got this black character in here, but the status effect looks really weird, and it's going to stand out, and it's going to draw attention to the other people's status, and it's just going to look weird. So let's just change them, right? Which brings me to my next question: which character would have been blacked in this game? What character would have been black? Like, we just palette swapped one of these characters. Who would have been the black character? I think. Oh, damn it! I forgot his name.
Please don't say Monaco.
Damn, wait, I forgot. I don't even know what the ones with the letter grading.
Oh, that verse. So yeah,
I feel like he could have been a cool black dude. You know, freaking what is his name? Leon? No, not Leon. Oh boy from Tekken, the cool one.
Eddie.
No.
Okay, the haircut.
The newer one who T-Pain cosplayed as.
Oh,
with the cane
talking about
and the dreads.
Winchuck.
Yeah, Winchuck. Yeah. Anyway,
we just went off for a minute.
No, for sure.
That makes. If I just feel like it would have done two things. It would have made it less easy for us to make this point, and two, like it would have been equal. Like I would have been fine with that, but it probably would have looked hella weird. It probably would have looked extremely weird.
Yeah.
It probably
especially
would have looked really weird.
And next to everyone else, right? Everybody just
else.
like, oh yeah, this is odd.
Yeah,
they had to get that up out of there. So again, now we got to also think, right? Because now that this is there, when it could have not been there, now I'm thinking, what happens when people cosplay this? Maybe that's a goal.
I asked people in my comment section, like I was like, who would cosplay as this? You know, like
Yeah,
yeah, and they show up dressed like this, and you ask them, and they say, oh, it's just the inverted status effect. I'm just
yeah,
inverted in the camp. You know?
yeah. What do we do? What's happening there? You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, not to say that the entire development team made a
Yeah.
conscious decision to say,
Right.
"Hey, let's do this. This makes sense." I mean, in some regard, but to not, I don't think the entire one had malicious intent. But
Oh, of course
I
not.
would not be surprised if one, two, three, four of them said, "Oh, this is actually kind of funny," like
Yeah.
snickering to themselves. You know, this clearly looks like blackface, but who knows? Who cares? I'm gonna just throw it in there anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm gonna just let it rock. I'm not gonna say anything, right?
Right.
I would also not be shocked to think of someone say this would be funny if people cosplay this, and we can just say it's our character when it's really blackface.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
There's somebody out there that would do that. I
oh,
believe it. I believe
what?
it. They do it with
1000%.
Has Been Hotel already. Like there's
Oh
somebody
yeah,
out there. There's somebody out there that would do it.
yeah.
And like I'm getting tired of the comments that are like, we don't need to cater to black Americans. Like one person came in talking about it wasn't made for Americans, and I'm tired. This is black fatigue, and we're tired of catering to Americans. Meanwhile, in any of my videos did I say the game needed to be canceled. I didn't
Yep,
say that you needed to boycott it. I'm
yep.
still telling people that you should buy it. It's still a wonderful, amazing game.
Uh-huh.
Should they change it? It depends on whether or not they care. Like it depends
Right,
on whether or not it matters to them. And I feel like it didn't matter to them enough to stop. Like again,
to
when you
begin
look at
with,
the
right?
attention to detail in this game, the design of the monsters, when you look at all of that stuff in there, I just don't understand how they looked at that product and was satisfied with that. How were they satisfied with that? How were they satisfied with that?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just looks like they're covered in black paint.
yeah, yeah. And
Which
it's
which
interesting.
may be their point, but like, is that
That's not
inverted?
inverted. That's my thing. Like, if it's like a blotted, I don't know, like was something else inked. Like you know, if there was something else, it was called
Yeah,
at the very least
I would be
that could
fine with it.
that could make some sense, right? That can make
Yeah,
some sense. And it can keep me suspending belief, right? Okay, this character, which makes sense, they dealing with ink. That's what this thing is. They throw ink on them. That can make some sense. Another question probably still would be like, why not throw red ink or something?
mhm,
You know, but at least it would be not as intentional as the conversation as did they just put blackface into this game on the low?
and I mean, we can argue with like whatever level of this we want to argue with. I was thinking on the highest level of this, right? Like if we were going to do the impossible difficulty, there's someone out there, someone who decided to do this, and their argument is that this is in line with my creative vision for the game. This is what I expected to happen, and look, sorry that you feel offended, but the need for the art outweighs your feelings at this time. I can imagine someone saying something like that and thinking that. But again, I would just ask him, so then why are their eyes inverted? Like that's
Yeah,
why is it not everything?
let's do it.
Why do it? Go for it then. Like
Why are you being lazy?
I would defend it for you. Like go for it, full send it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But I feel like
yeah,
they didn't do it.
yeah. You know, this is the sacred crowd in 2025. Any criticism is going to be fully ignored by weirdo audiences. To some extent, creative decisions can be wrong. They can be
Absolutely.
wrong. They
Yeah.
can be wrong. And again, I think they could be wrong in a sense of like, what was the goal here? If the goal was for us to not break immersion, if the goal was for us to make a cool status effect that really dived us deeper into the world of Claire Obscure, then maybe this didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
maybe this was a creative decision that went wrong.
I I can think of something, but I've been thinking like, what could you have done better? What if
Yeah.
instead of making their skin black, what if like the world was inverted in terms of like instead of seeing their skin stuff, you see the world through them, like those
Right.
images were like a reflective mirror or something
Yeah.
like that, like
Yeah.
invert
Yeah.
the scene,
Yes.
like
And you can make it weird and like
you can
mirror
do all
versy.
yeah, have
Right.
Spider-Man type shit, like inverted,
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
blackface, and like I just don't.
There's
And like
there's tons.
just the way that people have been gaslighting and like the defenses that people been throwing up because now it moves to, well, was it intentional or not? Like if yeah, it looks they'll agree with the premise. It looks like blackface, which is where I'm like, fine. That's where I'm
Deal.
done with the
That's it.
conversation anyway.
That's the end. I thought so.
Nothing else to talk about.
That's what I figured.
That's nothing else to talk about. We have nothing else to discuss. But to
Right.
sidestep that, they say it can't be that. Even if it looks like it can't be that unless they intended for it to be. So they add in, you need the element of intent for it to actually be blackface. Since it clearly wasn't intentional,
Right.
even though it looks like it's not that,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what they're trying to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still, I don't want to get into this whole history, but if we think at the point, the intention of it was to make fun of, right? There's still some parameters in which they can just have this in there as a like and make you fun. And again, who cares about any of? I mean, like not who cares, but who cares about any of that? I'm just saying, hey, this is blackface. It's kind of. I thought about it, and I wanted to think about the game. You know what I'm saying? So
it took me out of the game, like it took you out too when you thought that one of us was going to say something about it.
100%. MJ Carter 8 says, "I love this game, but I just hate how the bigots and racists love this game for bigoted and racist reasons, i.e., no non-white characters at all present in this game." And that type of thing of no non-white characters, the entire cast, main cast anyway, being all white guys and girls. It kind of all adds to the blackface characters.
Not to sound weird, I do think Lunay's voice actress is an Asian American or Asian woman. I think so. I think when I last checked.
Well, yeah, the voice actresses, I think.
Yeah,
the voice actresses.
Yeah. But like the
cat,
I see what you're saying. Like the cast of it for sure. Yeah. I just.
Yeah.
Here, I'll scroll some more for you. Some of them are just. It's just egregious. Let's go back.
It just looks crazy.
That one.
That one is ridiculous. That one's ridiculous. It doesn't look good anyway.
No, at all. I wouldn't even want that in the game. This is a bluer area of it. In a bluer area. Because someone got on there, a PhD student actually said, you purposely just went to one location where it would look like that. So I started taking pictures all over. And
why would they? Again, a lot of this stuff is just people jumping in and say, "Oh, someone is upset about something, right? I need to defend what they're upset at. Like, I just need to." They didn't play the game. Some people ain't even, you know what I'm saying, made it nothing. They just want to defend it for whatever reason.
For sure. Could have made them see through. There's so many things they could have done, man.
Yeah. So it comes to for me, right? My thoughts on this end up being, at the end of the day, right? Just not as, this is a detail that I feel they missed. Therefore, the quality of the product for me has been lessened. Right? I just don't think it is as cool because of some of the quality assurance, some of the decisions that they made creatively for their visuals that just continues to throw me out the game a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Like that. There's no way I can't play the game anymore. And the thing is, the Pictos that you get to use this is one of the strongest ones in the game. 50% extra damage for 3 turns.
Yeah. And what that tells to me is that, well, first off,
they had to use it. Sorry.
Yeah, they know, right? What says to me is that there was data about this. They thought about this. That there has been conversations about this and this status specifically, which doesn't even need that much an extra emphasis on, because it's in the game, and all of these things were thought of thoroughly, right? To make it to implication in this game. So like, they thought about it, right? At the very least, I think some people said, that's kind of funny. It looks like blackface, and just didn't stop anything. It was like it is what it is. We already got it. It is what it is. Thank you for the follow, Jalo, Yellow Nerd. Interesting decisions. You said it lowers it from all time status
Yeah,
to just
yeah, it's
kind
not
of
my
really good
favorite game of
game.
all time. No, 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 no. Don't misunderstand me. Not just really good game. This game is still fucking amazing. Don't
Right.
don't misunderstand. Like just the intros into some of the boss fights
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so sick. The music, it's so great. It's just it's not my greatest game, favorite game of all time cannot have blackface in it. Like if they fix it, if they
Yeah.
fix it, it can go back.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and put Mass Effect 2 back on the top where it belongs.
Yeah.
And Claire Obscure can be number two because it just I don't want to can I be honest with you, man? I
Yeah.
don't want to believe I live in a world where there are developers that are that have lack that much empathy, that don't care that much. Like I don't want to believe that I live in a world where people that would do some shit like this. Like
Yeah.
this is your magnum opus. This is your,
Yeah.
you know, like this is your swan song. Like this is your I just left an oppressive work environment and I'm finally doing something that I want to do. Like why would you want that attached to your legacy like that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I want to believe it's a mistake. I want to believe that it was just an oversight. And like, am I delusional enough to believe it? If they tell me a good enough story,
Right.
I
Right.
love this
Right.
game enough that I'm willing to choose to
Like,
believe.
yeah.
Okay. I'm willing to choose to
Yeah.
believe you. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I think my timer is going to count down from when they know about it. So, like, I don't know if they're aware of it. I've heard
Yeah.
one of my commenters said that people on Reddit called it out before. I've sent tweets to them. I know I've had some people in my comments, but like, that's what's going to make it interesting to me. And like, I'm going to PAX and I haven't looked and seen if they're coming, but if they're coming to PAX and they haven't
Yeah.
addressed it, get ready for the viral moment because I'm going to
Yeah.
make two big, huge posters and I'm going to bring them. I'm going to go to FedEx Kinko and I'm
Yeah.
going to get life-size posters and I'm
Yeah.
going to bring them to the Q&A and I'm going
Yeah.
to ask them, please explain to me what this
Right.
is. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I think they
Yeah. No,
still have
100%.
time. They can say it's a glitch. They can say that wasn't unintended. I'll believe whatever lie. But like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just have a hard when I look at the history, like the nicest thing I can say it is that it exposes that they have a cultural blind spot and lack of empathy. That's the nicest way that I could put it. That's the
Yeah.
nicest way that I could look at it.
I think that's a good way to put it, to be honest. And I think with that doesn't mean, right? We got to introduce some nuance. That doesn't mean you got to hate everything,
Yeah, no,
everyone,
this
and
game is
everybody
fucking great.
associated
Yeah,
with this
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's
That
some
doesn't
people saying
even,
I'm never gonna play this ever. I'm never gonna.
right. Right. Relax. Relax.
No,
Okay.
not saying
Not
that
this. Not for, there's other things you can save that for. And there's
for sure,
tons in this world.
for
Not
sure.
necessarily this. All right.
Yeah,
I also think that it's okay to be able to, I think people need to understand that just because we see a criticism, which in general, any type of criticism, it can literally be, I don't like this controller setting,
mhm,
doesn't mean that you need to, that I'm angry. It doesn't mean that I hate
right.
it. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean, you know what I mean, that like it's ruining my life.
right.
It's something that I dislike. We should be able to acknowledge that
Mm,
and hold weight for other thought. Like, you know what I mean?
mm,
Like, it's not that crazy. The Geek of All Trades say, you know what's funny? A
mm,
certain group always tries to say that certain messages are in games and media intentionally, when all it is just when a minority is in the IP. But now they don't see it,
mhm.
right? And now they love to say, oh, it just breaks the immersion when they have to think about real world politics. Well, hey, maybe what if I agree with you and said, oh, this blackface shit is making me think about quote unquote real world politics,
Right,
right?
right,
That's something that you said you don't want in games, right? So
mhm,
let's now what are we doing about that?
right.
Or is it just certain quote unquote real world politics that
I
you don't
just
like?
can't believe the audacity of them, man. Like
Yeah.
it let's say like I've given the grace. Now on the other side, like they did it on purpose, like way to say middle finger, bro. Like way
Yeah.
to like
Yeah. Yeah.
ah.
Yeah. It'll probably win game of the year though.
Oh, I hope it does. It deserves it.
Yeah.
It
Death
deserves it.
Stranding. Maybe doing something
Yeah, I
for Death
never was
Stranding.
really into the Death Stranding. I know it's on PC. I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I know
Yeah.
you're talking about me not skipping cutscenes, but like I also sometimes some walking games. Like if I'm not
Some movie.
gripped in the narrative, bro, like it better grip me because I
Yeah.
seen a lot of walking in that game,
Yeah.
man. I
No,
saw
it
a
is.
lot of walking.
That is. It's more cinematic than gameplay. 1000%. It
I
has
can get
gameplay. I'm
behind
not
it.
gonna
I can get
downplay it,
behind it.
but
I get
It's
behind
it's, it's very interesting. And Kojima's a very interesting person.
it. Hmm.
That brings me to another mind because I know Kojima thinks about like movies and like live action stuff, and just my final thought
I already know where you're going.
is that a lot of games get video game live adaptations,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
a lot of times they like to keep true, throw little Easter eggs and
narrative.
to the gameplay of the original of the source material. Let's just say Player Obscure Expedition 33 receives, a live action Netflix special. They're going through the different game, they're facing different things. Maybe someone says, "Hey, I got the strongest power up." I don't know. And they move. I got something really strong in store. Do they do the Do they kind of gloss over? It's the strongest pictos in the game. What do we do here? That's funny. Hopefully, we don't have to ever answer that question.
I hope not.
Or we got a part 2 coming soon.
Yeah.
This was another counterplay conversations. We just
Wow.
here, what I'm saying, to chop it up. We talk about some serious things. Most all the time, it's fun.
Yeah.
Some of the topics
are
serious.
mad. I'm good, man. Like I still think it's a great game. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure that I'm not crazy. And like if you
Right.
pay attention to what again, I invite you to check out my TikTok at the.mindful.gamer. Check it out. Look at the comments. I made calm videos. I was talking nice and respectful. I wasn't
Yeah.
yelling. And people was just calling me all kinds of stupid and broke. And what are you talking? You know what I'm saying? Like
Jesus
it's
Christ.
crazy. But I saw a few people that was like, yeah, no, that's exactly what I thought too. I thought I was crazy, you know?
Because it's just odd. It's just odd. That's right. Check them out at the Mindful Game. I think I put that down there correctly. Just fun conversations, all right? We like to have these conversations because we got to bring back deep, real, full-on conversations, right? We got to explain things like this. We got to talk about how these things exist. And we're here to leave you with a nightmare, okay?
It's
Somebody's
egregious, man.
print that out as a postcard.
I need to make a shirt, bro.
Oh my God. Yikes. This was Counterplay Conversations. I'm Ronell. This is Derek, the Mindful Gamer. Check us out. Some Mindful Gamer with periods after every one. We got Checkpoint the Show, 8-Bit Close Fist, a lot of fun stuff, PAX West. We're going to keep these coming every week, Sunday, YouTube. Make sure y'all check out our TikToks, etc. We're going to be dropping some stuff for y'all. Stay tuned. More stuff.
Right. See y'all soon. Shout out to the Church of New Game Plus. I'm working,
100%.
y'all. I promise.
Join it.
I'm working.
I believe it.